So we all know that being the most skillful player, the most talented, or whatever else, have the best technique, isn't the only thing you need to stand out as a footballer. So in this video, I want to go over 5 habits that the smartest footballers develop. Because at the end of the day, if your decision making isn't good, if you can't be smart on the pitch, it doesn't really matter how skillful you are. That's coming up next. When I'm busy doing totally legitimate things, I rely on OneFootball to give me all the news stories, fixtures, results, and more from the world of football. Download it for free today. Hi guys, my name is Dave and this is Simplysoccer if you're new to the channel, where right now we're releasing videos every single day to help you improve your game and stand out on the pitch. I just want to make sure you're subscribing and hitting the bell icon if you want more of that kind of content and you don't want to miss any, so make sure you do that. Also, if you haven't gotten my free ebook Game Changer, it's absolutely free. Get it down below, linked down below. Now before we start this video where I give you 5 habits that the smartest footballers develop, the ones they know are going to help them on the pitch to be a smarter player, have a stronger football IQ, I want you to put in the comments, I am becoming a smarter footballer every single day. I want to try something a little bit different. So I am becoming a smarter footballer every single day. And the reason I'm getting you to do that is because I want you to start identifying more as a smart footballer, start rewiring your brain, and if you take just that little bit of action, that little first step towards this by just writing it down in the comments, it'll go a long way to helping you achieve this. Now, of course, you got to do way more than that, but it's a good little first step, so put that down below. So that being said, let's get into number 1, which is remaining calm under pressure. Now, if we look at so many of the smart footballers down the years, or the ones that are currently in the game, one of the things that all of them possess is they rarely ever panic. They're always calm, even in these pressure situations. Like the first player that comes to mind is a Pirlo. Now, Pirlo, towards the end of his career, played in that more quarterback, deep-lying playmaker role. And he was tasked to kind of unlock defenses, or to dictate the tempo, or do creative things from that more withdrawn role, but he would still get involved in the attack with incredible passes, with assists and goals even as well. But one of the things I noticed about Pirlo is when anyone tried to pressure him, because they didn't want him controlling the game, so a lot of times teams would put a guy up there to press him whenever he got the ball, he would just spin away from them effortlessly. Even though he's in a pressure situation where if he loses it, his team's going to be in trouble, he still had the calmness and presence of mind to be able to spin them, to be able to turn them, to be able to play under pressure, no problem, because he was so calm in these situations. And being calm in those situations, not panicking, will allow you to make the best choice. So he knew when to pass it straight back, but he also knew when he could turn them, go around them, and then still play that attack-minded ball forward. And so by being calm in these pressure situations, it's going to allow you to make the better decisions in pressure situations or normal situations as well, keeping that composure. Number 2 is they follow their instincts. Now, this is going to play a lot on the first one, remaining calm, because one of the reasons you want to remain calm is it allows your instincts to come through. When you're overthinking, you're not going to be able to hear your instincts. When you're panicking, all of the instincts you have are going to be cut off. But by remaining calm, you actually will have your instincts telling you certain things. Now, these will be telling you things in a split second, and you have to act upon them, which is what this one's all about. Your instincts will tell you to play that certain ball, or to spin away from that player, or that someone's on you and you need to give it back to the passer, or whatever it is. But the players that are the smartest, they listen to these instincts because they know that if they've honed their instincts on the training ground, if they've worked hard enough on developing the muscle memory they need to act in these situations, then it really just comes down to listening to their instincts in the moment in matches. And the more you can listen to your instincts, the smarter a player you'll be, the better decisions you'll make, the more effective you'll be. And this is something you just have to kind of feel as you play. Again, by training certain things, it's going to help you, but you're going to have to, this is more feeling than anything else. It's not something you think about, it's something that you just kind of intuitively know to do, and something you'll develop as you continue to play, and as you continue to practice. So number 3 is a big one, and the smartest players, they do this both on the pitch and off the pitch, and it's they learn from their mistakes very fast. The players that are not so smart, the ones that don't improve that quickly, are the ones that keep making the same mistakes over and over again. Because you have to understand it's okay to make mistakes. You obviously want to avoid them as much as possible, but it's okay if that happens. We all make mistakes. We're all going to lose the ball sometimes. Even Pirlo did. We're all going to miss that open goal. We're all going to maybe not take care of ourselves in the way that we should from time to time. We all make mistakes, but the smartest players learn from their mistakes very quickly. They rarely keep making the same mistake over and over again, and if they are, they deliberately focus on doing the things they need to do so they don't keep making that mistake. And so this is something you absolutely have control over. You know, when you're in matches, if you make a mistake, understanding what happened and putting yourself in positions where you won't keep making it, but also analyzing your matches after game, analyzing yourself and going, okay, what can I do in my training to avoid making these mistakes and continue to do the good things I know I need to be doing. And so the smartest players learn very, very quickly from their mistakes. They don't put their heads down. They don't beat themselves up over their mistakes. They look at it and go, what can I learn here? What is the golden nugget of information I can then apply to my game to improve? And they go out and apply it. So speaking of analyzing, the smartest players analyze the best players, the best of the best. And if you look at many of the examples of these incredibly intelligent players, the Xavis, the Iniestas, the Pirlos, and the Kevin De Bruynes, you can usually always find examples of them having studied some of the best players. You know, having looked up to some of the best players in the past, maybe when they were younger, or if they found themselves on a team with someone who was an incredibly smart player or an incredibly just gifted player, you'll notice that they study these players. You know, some players have such a big ego, such a big head, that they won't learn from the great players on their team now. And this goes from when you're a youth player even to a professional player. But usually on a team, you're going to have those standout guys. And if you're not already one of those guys, you can usually always learn from them. So for you, the way you can directly do this is, of course, learn from the best player on your team if you have one. But obviously, in this day and age, you have such a golden opportunity to learn from the best players because you can look at videos of them playing. You can watch professional matches all the time. You know, you can look at streams. You can look at individual highlights of matches. Now, I would have tried and avoid just looking at highlight videos because they're exactly that. They're just highlights, and you're not really going to get a good feel for the game or what they're really doing if you're just looking at their best moments, their nutmegs, their goals, or whatever else. You want to look at their actual individual highlights on a game-to-game basis, which you can also find. You just type in the player like Pirlo versus, and a bunch of things will come up, and you watch those games because now it's going to be every involvement. And you're going to start to see, okay, most of the time he passes here, but when he has an opportunity, he tries to exploit this space, make this pass, whatever it is, and you start analyzing what they're doing. You can even look into their training. What were they doing when they were training or are training, right? You can see if you look at certain YouTube channels or even sign up to your favorite team's subscription service, you can see they're behind the scenes in training. Now you not only can see what they're doing in matches, you can see exactly what they're doing in training. You can hear them in interviews talking about what they do, how they became a smart player, how they choose their decisions in the moment. Like, you can find all of this information now. And if you want to become a smarter player, if you want to become a better player, you know, you have to start learning from the best ones, the ones that are actually doing this at the top level. And number 5, guys, is one of the most important, maybe the most important on this list, because I consider this something that many other things branch out from, and it's taking care of their mindset. You know, mindset, mentality, attitude in football is one of the biggest things in the game that is going to determine whether you make it far or you get absolutely nowhere. You know, I produced a video very recently going over how you have to ignore critics, the man in the arena quote, and that has to do with your mentality, because a lot of players start to shy away when those kind of things happen. They stop training, they don't give as much effort, they feel criticized and they feel hurt, and so they don't go out there and do everything that they can do. Their confidence is low. But a smart player understands that training his mentality, keeping himself in a good frame of mind, or in a good place mentally, in a good place as far as attitude, in a good place as far as confidence, is going to affect his whole game in every single facet, in every single way. And so you need to be working on your mentality and mindset almost as much as you're working on the physical skills. Now, if you want a course that's going to help you do this, I do have a complete soccer confidence course, which is going to teach you how to become more confident, how to maintain that confidence, how to change your identity to that of a pro player, to someone that sees himself as a professional and then starts acting in that way. So I will leave that link down below if that's something you're interested in and you want to invest in actually getting this area of your game, which I consider at least 50% part of your game. If you want to get that under control, I'll link that down below. But if you're not going to do that, make sure you're doing your own thing that's going to help this area and that you're actually focusing on it. Because again, the difference between players that get to the very top, the players that go to college, to the pro levels, to whatever, a lot of times is their mentality, what they do with their attitude. And how many players have we seen that could have done so much more in the game, but didn't because of their attitude, their mentality, the consistency of those mental attributes. So, keep that in mind. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Please apply the tips I've given you in this video. It's no good if you just watch this and then don't apply what I've gone over. Anyway, thanks again for tuning in. I'm going to put 2 other videos up on the screen. You can get Game Changer again for free down below, and you can also check out Complete Soccer Confidence to see if that's something that would be a fit for you. Anyway, guys, I will see you in the next video.